Hey guys, down here in the bilge again. Alright, today's plans, I just want to cut some limber holes. So basically a limber hole is a hole that goes between each rib on the boat to allow any water that's in each passage to run from the one section to the next. I'm dividing this boat up into three parts, so eventually it'll have three bilge pumps. I'll have a bilge pump in the stern, I'll have a bilge pump in the engine compartment, and I'll have a bilge pump in the forward section. Alright, so what I'm just going to do now, I'm just going to burn holes along, let the water drain out. As you can see, the water hasn't really disappeared. Alright, I'll get to it. Cheers. Got myself a drill bit. Well, you can see there now we've got a steady stream of water running out of the boat. Turns out there were a few limber holes in there, but not very many. I'll end up discovering how it looks in the next few weeks or days. At the moment, with my shoulder the way it is, I can kind of only do sort of small little tasks. So right now, I think if Jess and Damien from Project Brupeg are watching, and Stu from Dangar Marine's watching, I think they know what I'm in for. Right, well, I've run out of light, so I'm going to get out of here. So this has drained up pretty well overnight. It's still dripping outside, but that forward section there hasn't drained out. But what I do know is that it is connected to the very forward peak, or there is a hole, a limber hole through there. Because it's now down a hell of a lot more than it was yesterday. So what I'm going to do now is just get in here with a scraper and just start to scrape some of this crap out. Put it in a rubbish bag and get rid of it basically. What I'll do, I'll start down the very aft section and then I'll work my way back. You can see that the water's, you probably can't see it, but the water is still running. So alrighty, let's get on with it. Well, that's going to do me for today. I'm snookered. Not used to that. What I think I'm going to have to do is just get a jackhammer. That stuff's just caked on. Yeah. So I'm going to go and just on the way home this afternoon I'll look at a little 240 volt jackhammer. Right now though I'm just going to burn another hole in the opposite side of the keel in the hole. So what I'm going to do there, I'm going to clean it out as best I can, and then I'm going to cut the whole lot out. I'm not going to fuck around with this. From about probably 300 millimeters, so about a foot up, each side of the keg is rusted. It's pitted on the inside. Anything above that is pretty good. The side stringers, so the ones that hold the engine in place, that go right from the back of the engine room right to the front, they are in good condition, so I'm just going to leave them. I may have to cut out underneath them because some of the rusted material goes right up to there, and by rights I shouldn't put a join underneath those stringers. I'll explain more about that when I get to it. So where I'm pointing the camera at the moment, in the middle of the boat you can see the log shaft and you can see the keel. So the keel runs the entire length of the boat. So from that keel to the left you can see a vertical stringer. That stringer supports the engine, so it stops any twist in the boat while the engine's running. Okay, now that stringer, the vertical stringer there, it's in pretty good nick. There's only a couple of little sections that I think I'll have to replace, which are right up forward. So that rear wall needs replacing. So basically what I'm getting at here is from the keel up to that vertical stringer, I'm going to have to replace 300 millimeters wide each side, I'd say. I'm not sure about the other side yet, I haven't cleaned it all out. I'm just going to burn a hole in there now and have a look. The plate on the bottom of the hole there is badly pitted for about probably 250 millimeters from the keel. So basically I'm just going to be cutting all that out, including the keel itself. I'm just not going to fuck around. I don't think, and I could be wrong, but I don't think this is going to be as big a job as I first thought. So this here is the original hole, okay? So from about 200 mil down to the keel is pitted with rust. So I've just burnt that hole there, and what I've found is I've burnt through this 10mm plate and there's still a piece of plate underneath it. So what I'm thinking is that you can see this step in this plate. It's only about 8mm plate. I think they've added that plate straight over the top of this one, and they haven't bothered cutting out the material inside. Now if that's the case, this is going to be a bit of an easier fix than I first thought, but it could create problems for me because I don't know what's happening between these two, between this plate and this plate, if they've just laminated it. I think I'm just going to get a gouging tip and I'm just going to gouge that probably down here. I might just gouge this piece and I'm just going to see what happens. Because if that's the case, I only need to remove the plate from the inside. Going to be a bit of a bugger of a job, but it might save me a lot of work because I honestly believe, I'm hitting steel there. So that's what's making me think they've just laminated this. I'll tell you what I might do. I might get that oxy set started again and I'll see if that'll burn through that next layer. There's one wreck to settle into. Woohoo! So that's just as I thought. There's two pieces of plate there. So this heavier plate's been laminated over the original hole. Not sure what that's going to mean just yet, but might be a little bit more promising than I thought. It might be a bit easier to cut all the rust out of this. Alright, that'll do me for today.